Hey guys, in the fast lane here. In this video, I'm going to show you how to change out a fuel filter for a Honda Civic and Accord. Here's the fuel filter for a 98 Honda Civic. It's FF696DL, and it's the same as the Fram G7599. This is a Duralast. You can get them at AutoZone. I think it was 21 and change after tax. So they come sealed up with plugs, and it shows you which way it flows. So we're gonna have to remove the bottom bolt or nut off of the actual line on the vehicle and the Banjo bolt on top. Also, it comes with washers, new washers for the top Banjo bolt. And it's got a real small little washer. Not quite sure what that's for, but who knows. Anyhow, so the tools you're gonna need is a 19mm, 17mm, and a 14mm. So the first thing we're going to do is locate the fuel filter, and it's right here next to the battery on the Honda Civics, and the Accord, I believe it could very possibly be in the same spot. So what we're going to do is we're going to remove this Banjo bolt on top. It's a 17mm right here, and then on the bottom we have a 19 that holds the fuel filter while you're trying to unbolt the 14 below it. So we want to crack the 14 loose by holding it with the 19. You can also use an adjustable wrench. Those work great too. One more thing, I suggest getting some paper towels and just stuffing them underneath the fuel filter, because you're probably going to get a little bit of leak. Now I'm going to start off by cracking the bottom loose, just because kind of everything gives me a little bit of leverage. I could hold on to here if I had to. So I'm going to crack it loose, and then we're going to have to obviously remove, I forgot to mention, you're going to want a 10mm socket. You got 1, 2, and 3 10mm you got to take in order to remove it off the wall, and then you have to loosen the 10mm bracket. They should have made it where the 10mm goes on this side, but they didn't. So what we're going to do, we take our 19 right here, we stick it on the back side here, and then we go down here with our 14, and hopefully I'm not in the way, and we pull together like that. Now it's cracked loose. Now I might get some fuel, so I'm just going to keep going until I get it. Yeah, it's dripping just a little bit, but not much. But I got that paper towel down there. Now that the 14mm on the bottom's all the way off, now we're going to go ahead and crack the 17mm loose. It's going to go towards the driver's side. There we go. And now you're getting a little bit of runnage on the fuel, so you might even want to get a bowl. But I'm just going to keep throwing a bunch of paper towels there so it doesn't drain everywhere. It'll leak for a little bit, whatever's remaining in the filter, so that's not too bad. And now be careful, you got washers under here, so we're going to unscrew this all the way, and there's a washer on the bottom right there, and we just take the line and set that line aside. You might even want to stuff a paper towel in there so you don't get any contaminants. So you just got these 3 10s right here. We'll just set these bolts up here, and once we get this last one out, the whole filter is going to come right out. So this one's a nut on the bottom. Alright. And we'll set that aside. And now just slowly lift up. And we're dripping gas, but we got our paper towels down there. Here's the last 10mm bolt I was telling you about that holds the fuel filter. So what we're going to do is we're going to try to line this new one up the same position that the old one was lined up. And it's really simple. If you look right here, there's a bracket, and the actual line, little piece of metal goes through it. So there's no way to put this in wrong. Same thing with this one. It just lines right up. So you don't have to worry about if you have it positioned right. All we're going to do is just take this last 10 out. Almost kind of wish I would have left it in there, but as you can see, look at how rusted out that one was. It's been on there for a long time. So now it just kind of got into more of a problem, but thank goodness that back here it's all the way through, so I can get some pliers on that and pull that out. There we go. And that's the guy that was stuck in there. Looks to be a little cross-threaded, so I'm going to get a tap and I'm going to re-tap that hole. So the drill tap for this is a M6 by 1.0. So I went ahead and got another 10mm bolt. It's the 1.0 pitch, same thread and everything. And we're just going to put this back together. And if you might have bent this trying to get that bolt out if you ended up stripping it like I did or broke it off. So you might want to bend that back. But what we're going to do is just take this little point right here, slide it right in there like that. And we're going to put the little hook right here, slide it over like that, and then we're going to take our 10mm bolt. Now you can put some anti-seize on here if you don't ever want it locking up on you again. But I went ahead and re-tap the threads because I think it was cross-threaded from the beginning. So anyhow, just going to screw that in there like that and tighten it all the way down. On most vehicles you don't want to tighten it all the way down because you don't know which way it's going to be lined up, but with this one it's already pre-lined up with that little piece of metal that goes through that clamp. Alright, so now that that's done, just tighten it up and we're ready to put it on the vehicle. Another quick note is make sure you don't forget these little guys. They go through the rubber grommets here, and make sure you got them all. Alright, first things first, we're all ready for installation. Is we're going to take this rubber boot off right here, and then we're going to make sure we got all of our little rubber grommets. Now with this one, it actually left one of them on there, so I'm going to make sure I got that on there. And then that's pretty much it for that. These just go into the back right there. Now we're going to just slide it on the bottom first and then on the top. Now we want to get this fuel line in there first because if you don't do it now, it's going to be a nightmare to get it on there. So we're going to push it in like that. Try to get it all the way in. I would suggest doing it without even putting it on. So let me have a look here. I'm probably getting in the way of the camera, but there we go. And you just want to screw it on, finger tight until you get it to the top. There we go. Now we're going to take our grommets, make sure those are in there still. And bend it back a little bit. Alright. Just like that, we're going to take our two 10mm on the top, start screwing them in by hand. One there, and then we got one on this side. Just get them in as far as you can. Once we're done with that, we got one on the bottom, right down here. Gonna finger tighten that one. And that's pretty good. So I'm gonna go ahead and tighten these three up real quick, and then we'll be on to tightening this line. And then we'll be putting the Banjo bolt on, and then we're pretty much done. Alright, we got those three 10mm bolts tightened up. We're going to take our 14 and 19. We're going to place our 19 on the top part right here, and we're going to go away from each other this time. So we're going to put it on there like that, and then we're going to pull it away. There we go. That's nice and tight. And when you start the vehicle up afterwards, always want to check for leaks. Now we're on to the Banjo bolt, and you remember that little baggie that you had? Well, it replaces the ones that were on the Banjo bolt. So we're going to pull those off, and sometimes they might not be the right size, so you can reuse your old ones. And I'd suggest if you want to reuse your old ones, just get a piece of 1000 or 2000 grit sandpaper and move the washer back and forth to smooth it back out. So let's go ahead and take these out of the bag, and you're going to put one on there over the top like that, and then you're going to grab your Banjo with the fuel line, and we're going to put it on there, one over the top. Now we need to grab our other washer, and we're going to slide it on the bottom. Now we need to take our rubber grommet out right here, the top, and now we're ready to put it back on. And you want to slide the Banjo between that groove and just hand tighten it for now. Kind of jiggle it as you're tightening it, lets it go in a lot easier. And now hold on to the line or put your 19mm on the bottom, and we're going to tighten it up. And that should be it. Now before you start your vehicle, we're just going to turn the key and let the fuel pump prime and see if we have any leaks. So now we're stepping in the vehicle, and we're just going to prime it real quick by turning the key right before it cranks the motor. And you want to do it a couple of times, because the fuel filter is not primed. So now step out of the vehicle real quick, have a look, feel around, make sure you don't have any leaks, which we don't, and that's how you change out a fuel filter. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Go ahead, comment, like, and subscribe. Also, don't forget to check out my Facebook page, website, and Android app. All that can be found on my YouTube channel in the About Me section. I'm in the fast lane, and I'll see you guys next time.